pirates are always the first for everything. But now with the internet, you can listen to any radio station in any country and get your fix of what you want. So that means there's less a need for the pirates, which is a sad thing.
They've turned the tops of London tower blocks into fortresses.
All I had was a single bed in a room and like a pair of shoes and a pair of pants and a little boombox. That's all I had. And all I could do was listen to radio. I had no money, I was eating sugar. It's not even a sub story, but all I had was reggae stations, and I was like, this is keeping me alive, this is keeping me, focused.
Not going to let people do that in our residential properties.
It enables you to channel your energy in a different way to getting in trouble all the time. So I was just going down the wrong path, and then like music started erupting, and I was just like, oh, this is nuts. Gotta do this. This is better than stealing cars and getting arrested and stuff like that.
To illegally use the airwaves.
I don't sit comfortably with the word pirate because it kind of puts us as outlaws, and I think what we're doing is kind of providing a service that is an outlaw. So I like to call us community stations without a license.
But the abseiling pirates risk everything to get in.
For outside of London, you've got the mainstream radio is enough to make you want to kill yourself.
Oh yes indeed, locked onto the big one, Buzz 88.1 FM, very good evening. Eric to be with you, and what a lovely day it's been as well. The sun's out, it's nice and blazing. Next a big shout going out to DJ Bluehole tight, Justine, also Terrence, how you doing? Not forgetting Andrew and Love. As soon as we switch on, the phone goes crazy.
They feel like they know you because they can talk to you, and they feel like there's that connection there, and that's where the loyalty stays with the station, and that's where you get your followers.
This one is Mark Morrison when we actually put him on live on stage at the Naya Centre in Manchester. That's some way back in time.
People who run pirate stations run it because they've got a passion for music.
Legal stations, they've all got agendas, they've all got tracks that have got to get pushed, they're units that have got to be sold, whereas I think the pirates, the majority of pirates are just pushing the music that they love.
When you've got these big corporations, it's at the end of the day it's never about the music, whereas with pirate radio it is, and that's the number one priority.
We play stuff that no one else would ever play. When people are doing demos in their bedrooms and it gets to a certain quality and they want to get it out there, they can come to me and come to the station I play on and it'll get played.
The pirates are always the first for everything. The first people to break new tunes, to break new trends, and we've seen that from hip hop in the 80s, early 80s to rare groove.
It's done wonders for drum and bass really in the early days. If pirate wasn't around, it wouldn't have got to where it is now.
Things like drum and bass and garage and all of these things grew in the soil of pirate radio,
If you look back to Caroline, they were the first, they were the ones my dad was talking about, probably the ones your dad was talking about. They launched it off.
By 64, 67 I think, it was just BBC and nothing else, boring, When Radio Caroline came and all the other pirate radio stations, they decided to have commercial radio station, and then it snowballed after that. My best sort of highest point was when the pirates came in, the boats. Other community people and ethnic people started broadcasting illegally. And every few days we were raided by the Department of Trade and Industry, closed them down, and a few days later we started again. There was a need for a community radio station.
Then the Marine Broadcasting Offences Bill became law. Soon afterwards, nearly all the pirates but Caroline had closed.
Broadcasting Corporation.
This is one of the studios that we had for a little bit. We were actually here for quite a long time, but I think that was just the nature of what it was. They were probably trying to get a court order to get the owners evicted anyway. You're ringing the bell. Hello, Wicked Witch of the West. Like some crusty old woman. But I mean, she wasn't a bad person. She really was in a bad shape though. So it was like you walk in the front door into the flat. The suspect people that lived there were so dodgy that we had to actually bolt ourselves into the room. It's like it's a lot better than it was, huh? It smells better.
Might be someone who's got a house and has got a spare back room. We've used porter cabins before now where we've broadcasted from. So
We've even DJ'd out the back of your car, didn't we?
yeah, for the weekend that was.
We were coming out of a lift motorroom on the top of the tower block. You could have a set of turntables in someone's kitchen and you'd just be banging out tunes and just reading out the number.
Cockroaches, rats. I mean, people cooking up drugs in the kitchen, trying to get shout-outs for incarcerated buddies.
There was just no toilet. So I guess it was all right for the guys, because they could just get an empty bottle and do their business or whatever. But yeah, for a lady, it wasn't really the one.
The thing about doing pirate radio is you never know what you're going to end up. You know, it's weird. Standing in the stairwell in East London. Yeah, that's a good view though.
I mean, some pirates, as you know, are kind of a bit more of a shabby operation. But from my experience, from going from Itch to Kiss, not that much difference apart from there's better equipment.
It's nice to be involved in a big corporation like the BBC. I mean, just in terms of perks, but also, I mean, it does have its downside as well. And there are a lot of guidelines you have to follow. And with pirates, things are a bit more slapdash, or they used to be. I mean, they seem to have tightened up a lot more these days and people host their own shows properly.
I went to the studio and I was like, it was on the internet. You know, they had a sound booth. They had you know, in real studios, you've got like a glass screen where you've got a producer and you have, you know, researchers and all these people manning the phones, boom mics and, you know, jingles and double screen computers. Pirate radio is not. I mean, it's nice as far as like it's cool, but it's literally like being in your bedroom.
It's more fun when it's raw, I think, because it is what it is. A pirate will always be a pirate because that's what makes it fun. The little crackles, the rawness of it. When it's too what's the word, clinical, processed, and everything just sounds. It's a totally different experience for me.
Remember, folks, do tune in tomorrow for the soundtrack to the weekend, 6 through till 8 every single Saturday. If you want to hear some new sounds like that. Right, going to send you a little bit deeper this morning. Keep the calls coming.
There's something about pirate radio because it's so shonky, because it's so budget and real, and it will lock off, and the microphone will go fuzzy, and the needle will skip. You have moments where you're thinking, when the radio goes down, it goes down for months on end, and you go, oh man, are they ever coming back?
Big shout going out to Legs, just texting in and saying, what's happening, brother? Oh, what's happening here, mate? There's a little show going on here till midday. Out to Legs, out to all the 4DSS crew, all the rest of the Ice Cold FM family. Out to you, Legs.
We stay here for a short amount, then we move, you know, to find another studio, because obviously we can't sit here 24/7. We can't exactly put the name on the door to say the station's here, you know what I mean? So yeah, we do move now and again to various locations, yeah.
This is another one of our studios. Was in a bedroom in one of these flats here. That was a good one. It was kind of a party house. But this one they actually got raided, and one of the DJs got arrested and got fined and all that kind of stuff. And banned from radio for 3 years.
Increased powers under the new Telecommunications Act mean the illegal stations now face heavy fines, imprisonment and confiscation of their equipment.
With pirate, you never know when someone's going to come through the door. You never know if it's going to be DCI and the police, or just a load of people who want to steal your equipment. because it's not legal, so you can't police it.
It's real and it's illegal, and it's like shit. Folk are risking their record collection and their criminal records to do this.
I was in a studio raid for a pirate in South London. Just standing there, and these two policemen walked in with two guys in suits, and you know, no knock at the door or anything. They'd obviously put the door through, and they took absolutely everything. All the DJ who was on at the time, the records, even down to the speaker wire.
We got hit about 3 times in the space of a month, didn't we?
Yeah,
at one point.
they just kept coming for me. Once they took my vehicle because I had Buzz FM on the side of it, so they confiscated it because there was promoting a pirate radio. I've got a £10,000 fine.
Pirates from the street, innit? Pirate radio is normally working class people would do such a thing anymore. People off, you know, live on council estates, things like that. People who ain't got a lot of money, you know, people just want to do their thing, play their music. So obviously you're going to be involved in that criminal element because you're coming from the estates. You know what I mean? So there's always going to be drugs, there's always going to be guns, there's always going to be crime. There's do's and don'ts. Don't steal each other's rigs unless you've got a good reason to, you know? Unless someone's come over and nicked yours and it's like on. No. There is like it's not like a rule book, but like I say, there's honour among thieves if you want to put it like that, I suppose.
We don't deal with any type of gangster stuff or you know, any rivalry or anything like that. In fact, if another station down here is doing a concert, yeah, we'll run their advert for them. We don't mind that. You know what I mean? There's no animosity between us and them.
This was originally what became known as Itch Towers. It was a classic Itch FM spot. It's what really made us this venue, and that reach that we had. You can just about see like Crystal Palace. You can see all the way over to South London, and we're at such a high point that the frequency would hit everywhere.
I used to go up on the rooftop and just check the aerial every couple of months. You wanted to see, are we going to get any further if I get like a 10-foot scaffolding pole and we stick the aerial on top of that? We had to get up on roofs during lightning storms to fix the stuff up. Just because you put an aerial up don't mean to say it's alright. You know, birds sit on it, it gets loose, you have to check the screws, it's not going to blow over in a gale.
Up there, that's where the aerial is. Yeah, there's another level at the top you've got to climb onto. Put that up there, it's all guide roped off and everything else. We've got a pole. The other end of it, it's something that sits down there, that plate covers over the top. And the transmitter's about another 20 feet underneath that. So most of the time, thieves can't get to it. That's a problem with radio stations, is you get a lot of thieves. You know, obviously the DCI, they've got the equipment to get this, we know that. Yeah. It's a bit of a prevention as well, so you can see the bottom element has been battered by the wind recently, so we're going to take the whole thing down.
We climbed up the top of the block, we got up to the top, and then it was a case of climbing a bit higher. Yeah, it was raining, it was really wet. We had about 3 huge scaffolding poles.
There was one time I was up on a roof, horrible storm, and I actually thought I was going to meet God. Like, there was a point where I thought the lightning's getting a bit close.
No, we just tie it off and tie it to the ends of the block.
It can be quite scary, like if you're up there at night and it's raining and stuff, and you know, you've got to rebuild your aerial and it takes ages. In a way, that's kind of a buzz as well, you know, seeing if you can.
I don't know what the count is now, but it's got to be over 150 pirates in London, easily.
Now the fear is that a crowded radio spectrum means a greater potential danger to aviation over the capital.
So the old misconceptions that it interferes with the emergency services and stuff like that, and it's not something which is positive, which it is.
Now it's a pirate's fortress protected by 3 tons of concrete. Workmen sent to smash their way in say they could have been killed.
Once every year when Ofcom get their budget, there's all the horror stories about pirate stations. They took over the whole top of a building. They put hand grenades in here and they shot, you know, it's all to do with drugs.
Police are cautious about claims that there's big drugs money behind a network of similar stations across London aimed at advertising drugs parties.
Come on, man. DJs, work out, you know, they know, you know, I mean, I'm not dissing them because it's their job. They have to shut people down because that's their job. But at the end of the day, it's like, if people really wanted to make money off drugs, do you think they'd bother investing in a pirate station?
At the end of the day, pirates want to keep themselves to themselves. They don't want any trouble, they don't want any bother. We just want to get on and do what we love doing, which is playing our music.
We were off air for 2 years, weren't we, after Eric got his massive fine.
Yeah, and
we took a break, didn't we?
Yeah,
But the amount of
2 years.
people...
As soon as we come back, the listeners were there.
Instantly.
Just, oh, where have you been, etc. And glad to hear you back. And people are just buzzing that we're back.
Music.
I mean, I was up to no good, and it's purely through boredom. And if you find something to channel your energy into, well, you're going to do it, you know. And surely that's a positive thing, rather than, you know, the government's going, oh no, get more old Bill on the streets to pat down all these kids to find knives. Give them something to do, and they won't be carrying fucking knives, they're killing each other, innit?
My flat became like a community centre where DJs, if they weren't playing, they'd want to come down and be part of it because there was nothing to do. We were in a small town. The only thing was drinking and pirate radio, so we chose the pirate.
It was good for people that couldn't necessarily afford to go out every week, or they weren't necessarily getting the big DJs or big nights put on in their town or region, wherever they're from. And on the other hand, it's good for DJs to get exposure as well.
We keep a lot of the local youth. We keep them busy with the music.
Yeah.
We do nightclubs with them. They do a lot of DJing. They do a lot of studio producing, and by them keeping busy, it's keeping them out of basically harm's way.
It's been a huge part of my childhood. If you wanted to know what was happening that night, you weren't listening to Capital Radio, you was listening to Cool FM.
I think Rinse, as it is now, just seeing how they're trying to strive forwards and like do community-based work and do workshops for young kids in East London.
The whole London pirate radio thing is what got me into the whole music thing in the first place. I remember going through the dials like when I'm 13, 14. I've left my tape on record all night and then put the tape in before I go down football practice, you know what I mean, see what music I've got on there.
Pirate radio is beneficial to the community because it gives a lot more direct feedback to, can you play this, can you play that, have you got this in your bag, or can you play this next week, or the sort of direct aspect of dedications and things is a lot more sort of hands-on.
Big Asian population in Bradford, Leeds, Sheffield, so you get the Asian pirates because their music is getting ignored as well by all the legal channels. This is people wanting more.
In terms of being a female DJ on pirate radio, I guess there probably are more now doing it than maybe when I started or somebody like Storm started, just because there are more women slowly getting more involved in music. Yeah, I mean, I still get people like texting or doing shouts via MSN when I'm on Rinse doing my show, just saying it's really nice to hear a female voice because I don't hear it that often. There are a lot more women involved in like mainstream radio, I guess, on the commercial.
This is one of the last studios we were in. It was one of the better ones because it was like a flat to ourselves, but there's loads of security cameras everywhere, so it's just a bit bait. You're trying to come in the studio and there's like, with record bags or whatever, and there's cameras everywhere, and the guy dead. So I mean, how it works usually is because you don't want to walk around if you get in a lift, people start asking like, what are you doing here? Who are you seeing? So what you usually do is just go in the front door, mind your business, go in the fire exit. You walk all over the fire exit. So that way, there's no cameras in front. This is the spot. If the DJ wasn't here or management were on their way, you just have to sit here in the pissy stairwell. Glamorous life of pirate radio.
It would be a disaster for a lot of people if it were to disappear, because that's kind of, what they...
It would be a huge disaster.
You're going to have to wean a lot of people off radio, aren't you? A lot of people, because it's like industry standard. And now just because like certain companies, corporations are saying, all right, we're going to get rid of that now, like you're not going to listen to that no more. Well, all right.
At the minute they can choose if they listen to legal radio or they can choose if they listen to pirate. But when they're being forced to do certain things, well, people don't like doing that. People don't like being forced into one corner. They like to have a choice.
I mean, would that be the end of pirates? We've all got radios in our houses, and pirates are broadcasting. We've all got the tools to pick up.
Doesn't matter who owns
to
it,
pick up that broadcast.
Not everybody has got the internet, and lots of people are still very old school to the changes. So the easiest thing for them to do is flick the radio on the FM.
It says Buzz 88.1 FM Awards 2002. One of the 6 best underground radio stations in the UK by MWA Records. This, of course, is Wycliffe Jean. That's when I interviewed him at Heaton Park. I said, Wycliffe, I said, what would you be doing if you weren't successful at what you're actually doing now? And he turned around to me and said, he said, I would probably have my own pirate station. It's not money at the end of the day. I have a job here, I have a job there to earn my money, to pay my bills, just like anybody else. But the radio, it's more than any financial gains. It's more of a community spirit.
I think Rinse, as it is now, is such a huge global brand. It's more than just a pirate. Just being at the forefront of the next hot thing, it's great to be involved.
It's just a little bit too late in the track. He texted in saying, I'm not even going to ask you to pull it up. I'm just pull it up. 07958 103 103. Station that's cooler than cool. You're ice cold.
It's like a family. The listeners is like a family, and they listen to each other as well. Like from different areas and all that. And it's brilliant. Just love it.
Keep the radio alive. Keep FM alive. Keep supporting the radio, keep supporting the radio DJs, keep supporting the artists that's coming through, and don't sell out to digital.
On top of FM.